Long ago, before the world became as we know it today, the sun and the moon did not live in the sky. They lived on Earth, just like ordinary neighbors. Every day, they laughed, talked, and shared stories with their closest friend, water. The sun was warm and generous. The moon was calm, gentle, and wise. Together they lived in a beautiful home, decorated with carved wooden pillars, colorful woven mats, and flowering plants. Everyone admired their kindness, yet every single day, they visited their best friend, Water. One day, they went to visit Water. Water welcomed them with joy. The fish danced beneath the surface, frogs sang cheerful songs, tiny turtles floated lazily beside the reeds. The sun and the moon spent hours talking with Water, laughing together until evening. But Water noticed something strange. He was always the one hosting the visits. One day, Water smiled and asked, "My dear friends, I am always happy to welcome you into my home, but why have you never invited me to yours?" The sun lowered his head. He had never thought about it before. "My friend," he replied, "you are always welcome." Water laughed gently. "Are you absolutely sure?" Water's smile slowly faded. "You see," he said, "I never travel alone. Wherever I go, my children come with me." The sun looked confused. "Children?" the sun asked. Water nodded. "Yes, I have many." "Children?" Immediately, Water called with a loud voice, and his children came out. They were the fish, the crocodiles, the turtles, the crabs. "Every creature living inside me follows wherever I flow," Water said. After presenting his children to Moon and the sun, the moon exchanged worried glances with the sun. Their little house suddenly seemed much smaller to the size of the Water family. After seeing how large the family of the Water is, they were determined to welcome the Water properly. The sun decided to build the biggest house anyone had ever seen. Day after day, skilled builders cut strong timber, shaped thick wooden beams, and raised enormous walls. The house stood proudly in the center of the village, with wide doors and a roof so high it seemed to touch the clouds. When it was finished, the sun smiled with pride. "My friend, Water," he said, "now you and all your children can visit." The next morning, Water came. He paused at the entrance and politely asked, "Are you certain my children are welcome?" "Every one of them," replied the sun, slowly. Water began to flow inside. Tiny fish entered first, then larger fish. Soon, turtles floated through the doorway. Crabs crawled across the floor. Before long, crocodiles and countless other creatures followed behind. The house echoed with splashing water and the sounds of river life. The water rose to their ankles, then to their knees. Soon it reached their waists. Still it kept rising. The sun and the moon climbed onto tables, then onto shelves. Finally, they climbed into the roof beams, but Water was still entering. There seemed to be no end to his children. At last, the Water reached the roof. With nowhere left to stand, the sun and the moon climbed onto the very top of the house. Then, to escape the rising water, they leaped into the heavens, higher, higher, until they reached the great sky above the earth. From that day forward, they never returned to live on the ground again. And that, according to an old African folktale, is why the sun shines high above us each day, and the moon watches over us each night. The story reminds us that true friendship requires understanding. Sometimes, even with the best intentions, we must respect the nature of others and prepare wisely for what they bring. If you enjoyed this African folktale, subscribe for more timeless stories passed down through generations.